So, I was reading the latest Bloomberg reports from Mark Gurman, and honestly, my mind is blown. Apple is secretly working on a massive overhaul for the Mac Studio. But here's the crazy part. You will not even be able to see the biggest upgrade. I am not talking about a hidden software feature or a new wallpaper. I'm talking about a brutal heavy metal hardware change locked deep inside the chassis that literally stops this computer from catching fire on your desk. Once you understand what they are doing behind the scenes, all the weird leaks suddenly click into place. Before we get into the crazy stuff, let us talk about the outside. That heavy silver aluminum cube sitting on your desk. Yeah, that is not changing even a little bit. Same exact footprint staring back at you. Apple is not handing us a slick redesign or a cool matte black color option. The massive change is actually the giant chunk of copper hiding underneath the shell. Apple is quietly ripping out the old internal cooling system and completely rebuilding the heatsink. Why? Because the upcoming M5 Ultra processor is an absolute freak of nature and the current fans are just too weak. They had to completely redesign the airflow just to survive the workload. So, why is this new M5 chip running hot enough to cook an egg? Let us make this super easy. Usually, Apple takes two of their high-end Max chips and tapes them together to build an Ultra chip. But they are changing the game with a new trick called fusion architecture. Instead of cramming everything onto one piece of silicon, they are splitting the CPU and the GPU apart into separate blocks. Splitting them up gives Apple total control over how power is distributed. That means crazy power efficiency. But pushing that much raw energy around creates giant heat hotspots. That is exactly why the old fans had to be scrapped. They are going to need the biggest fans they can fit, because leaks say this monster will pack up to 36 CPU cores and a ridiculous 80 GPU cores. Now, let me share a stat that actually made me laugh out loud. If you check the laptops Apple sells right now, a normal MacBook Pro with an M4 Max chip inside is actually destroying the giant M3 Ultra Max Studio in basic CPU speeds. Think about that for a minute. A portable laptop you toss in a gym bag is outperforming a massive desktop workstation. It is a little embarrassing. The only reason that big desktop still holds value for heavy graphics work is because it has extra GPU cores to brute force the job. And that brings us to why jumping up to 80 graphics cores on this M5 Ultra is a massive deal. If you edit heavy 8K footage or build huge 3D environments, those cores are your lifeline. But then I got to the absolute craziest spec sheet leak I have seen all year. Gurman reports that Apple is testing this new desktop with up to 768 gigabytes of unified memory. Let that insane number settle in your brain. We are talking about 768 gigs of system RAM, not SSD storage space. For a normal person watching videos or browsing the web, that number is a total joke. But if you work with massive local AI models, the heavy tasks that normally force you to rent expensive cloud servers, this changes the entire game. You will be able to load gigantic AI models straight onto your own physical machine without sending a single drop of private data to the cloud. So, what is the bad news? Because with Apple, you know there is always a catch. This workstation was supposed to launch a lot sooner. Everyone thought it would drop in the first half of 2026. But summer passed by and Apple stayed silent. The real reason is a massive global shortage of memory chips that is squeezing the whole tech world. This shortage is hitting Apple so badly that trying to buy a current Mac Studio today means sitting on a 10-week waiting list. Right now, insiders point to October 2026 as the launch window for this M5 Ultra Beast. This exact desktop is going to be the final chapter for the whole M5 generation, closing out the lineup before Apple hints at the M6 and eventually the M7 Ultra in 2028. Because of that memory chip shortage, do not expect a nice price tag. The base Mac Studio starts at $2,000, but with internal costs going through the roof, rumors say Apple might quietly kill off the cheaper entry-level models entirely. You might be forced to spend a lot more cash just to get the cheapest version. So here's the final breakdown. You're not getting a flashy new redesign. What you're really paying for is a massive leap in raw speed, a brand new cooling system built to stop it from melting, and enough memory to run anything you throw at it. You're just going to have to wait longer and pay a massive premium. So, I want to ask you guys, is 768 gigabytes of memory something you could ever use in your daily workflow? Or is Apple just showing off? Let me know down in the comments section below.